Hey folks, okay, true story. I got an email, hey, would you like the Mazda 6 for the weekend? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. So I went to pick it up, and here it is, beautiful white Mazda 6. And then I'm stopped at a traffic light, and I'm like, this is very uncharacteristic. Why is there so much? I can hear a little bit of clatter, just a little bit. And I'm like, no way. So I actually pulled over. I've actually pulled over here, and just to check, and sure enough, it's a diesel. And okay, wait, not only that, not only did I do that, just to make sure. Oh, one thing, when you walk away from the car, if you have the fob with you, it will lock the doors. If you don't have the fob with you, it won't. So what I did was, I actually, yep, I didn't believe the badge, I didn't believe my ears. I had to open this just to check. Yes, diesel Euro 5 only. Unbelievable. So let's get in and check out this Mazda 6. So yeah, it's it's not even, it's already April 1st is over, but I've been pranked. They didn't tell me it was a diesel. They just said come get the Mazda 6, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be nice for a revisit because I've already driven the Mazda 6, so I figured, yeah, why not? Okay, let's do it again. It's a freaking diesel. I can't believe it. You see, now at idle, I can't even hear the clatter. Seriously, I can't. Hang on. This is pretty cool. 360 camera to let you know where you are. Parking. Always check your safety. Check your surroundings for safety. So this is the interior of the Mazda 6 Skyactiv-D with GVC. G-force vectoring control. Now, what is G-force vectoring control? I could explain it to you, but it would sound very, very, very convoluted. So I'll just put it in layman's terms, okay? G-force vectoring control basically controls the body of the car during cornering. You will find that it compensates for lateral G's, and you won't be like, if you corner really, like in a really hard corner, you won't be like this, and corner this way, you won't be like that, okay? Special effects again. But yeah, so I just picked it up. I've got a range of 700 kilometers, 698 kilometers, and yeah, I was told. I just called up Mazda and said thanks for the prank. Yeah, you didn't tell me this was a diesel, and they were like, yeah, amazing, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it is pretty cool. And they said Euro 5 only. If I have to refuel, I don't think I'm gonna have to refuel. I'm not going very far, so I don't think I'm gonna have to refuel at all. Sunroof, did you see that? Really, really nice. Now the new Mazdas, oh my goodness, the new Mazdas with the new face of Mazda, they have just been doing really well. Now personally, I think the new Mazdas look really, really good. Now looks are subjective. I know a lot of you tend to have opinions about how certain cars look these days. Some of you love the new Accord that's coming up soon. Some of you hate it, so it's very much a love and hate thing. But I think as far as Mazdas are concerned, I haven't really met anyone who has told me or said to me that they don't like the way the new Mazdas look. In terms of build quality, if we get away from subjective looks, in terms of build quality, Mazdas have really, really come a long way. I used to own a Mazda 626. My dad used to own a Mazda 626. I had a Mazda 626 two-door, which is very, very rare. And the progression of technology, the progression of build quality, the progression of just ergonomics, interior ergonomics. Sorry, I was under a tree just now and I think a few red ants might have fallen on me. It's just so well put together and it's so nice. I mean, it's a Japanese car, but it does not feel Japanese at all. You know, I mean, okay, granted, you can say that for a lot of Japanese cars these days. But this one really, I mean, okay, it's not too flamboyant. Okay, it's not too OTT, over the top. It's just very, very nicely put together. And I'm gonna drive off and let's see if I can hear more of this diesel clatter. I've got all the I've got the in-car entertainment down now because I want to hear. Now, in terms of specifications, I didn't manage to get me the brochure, but I wouldn't be surprised knowing a 2.2 turbo diesel Mazda. The low-end torque is going to be quite something else. But let's see. Yeah, so this car deserves the driving glasses. Now, the thing I said about the auto lock system, a lot of people I know are paranoid about auto lock systems. They're afraid that they are going to lock their keys in the car, and that's why auto lock systems have always been very frowned upon. I wouldn't say very frowned upon, but more like feared. Well, like I said just now, if you have the fob with you and you walk away, the car will lock its doors. The car will lock its doors, and that way you never have to have that feeling, which I often do. You're gone already, and suddenly you think, did I lock the car or not? Did I lock the car or not? Well, you know for a fact, if the fob is with you, your car is locked if you walk away. So, okay, let's go. Electronic parking brake. Wow. Wow, this is a diesel. This is a diesel. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll be very frank with you. I've driven the Mazda 6 before, but this is my first time behind the wheel of a diesel, of the diesel variant of the Mazda 6. Wow. As far as first impressions are concerned, this one gives off a really good one. A really good one. Wow. So there used to be a very strong negative perception about diesel vehicles, okay? Diesel was seen as something for industrial use, construction use, trucks use, lorries use them. And it didn't help that the fuel pump itself, the diesel pump itself at most petrol stations, was out far away from the center court of where, cars would normally fill petrol. They were resided to the back end, like the bastard child that nobody wants to talk about. Yeah, they were put way at the back for lorries like this one to go and refuel with diesel, and the area around it was usually really horrible. There was diesel on the floor. The diesel pump itself will always be coated with a little bit of diesel, and you get that diesel smell on your hand, and it really never goes away. Then you touch your steering wheel and it stains your steering wheel. So the perception of diesel vehicles was not so great about 10 years ago. But thankfully, with the advent of more and more private vehicles using diesel, trucks, for example, lifestyle pickup trucks, petrol stations have improved the surrounding area, or the ambiance of the diesel pump, which means you no longer have to line up with lorries, okay, if you want to get some diesel. Can you hear that clatter? Because it's only very little. I'm not sure how it sounds from the outside, because as you know, the NVH of the new Mazdas is really good. But what was I saying? Yeah. So it's not so bad, because there are luxury cars even in this day and age in our country that are using diesel. And that said, the acceptance or general perception of diesel vehicles has grown exponentially. And what's not to like? Honestly, what's not to like? Diesel engines, newer diesel engines, not the old ones like my Ford Courier. That was a real horrible thing. Newer diesel engines, smaller capacity with the turbocharging. These cars are so amazing, because think about it, just in terms of an actual diesel engine, you're using more air than you are diesel. Diesel engines don't use spark plugs; they use very high compression to get the ignition. That was a GT3. In case you're wondering what that sound was, it's not this car. I'm very near Porsche, I guess. So yeah, uses very high compression. So you're typically a petrol engine will use about 9-10 parts of air to 1 part of petrol. Diesel engines use about 20 parts of air to 1 part of diesel. So you're using less diesel, hence the almost 700 kilometers I've got on a full tank of diesel here in this Skyactiv-D. And it's a lazy engine, because the revs are usually quite low. I mean, red line starts at 5,000 RPM. 5,000 RPM red line. You're never going to get near there, okay? with the automatic gearbox. There's no way of over revving it. So there you go, diesel engines. Give it a thought. You know, I did a video some time ago on the Hyundai Tucson diesel, and I did mention, could you have a diesel in your life? And it's actually a no-brainer anymore. With this car, if you've always had a negative perception about diesels, you need to drive this Mazda 6 diesel 2.2 and find out for yourself just how ridiculously amazing the technology of diesel engines has improved. Unbelievable. You just saunter along. The revs are, okay, I'm sauntering at about 80 kilometers an hour now, okay? Not too fast, not too slow, just nice, just cruising. Kid you not, the revs are at below 1,200 RPM. Below 1,200 RPM. Lazy engine, just saunter along. Unbelievable. Wow. Chalk and cheese. I've been using that too much, but I'm going to use it again for the last time. If I were to compare the 2.5 liter diesel engine that was in my Ford Courier, which is about now, what, 20 years old? More than 20 years old. To this. Now that was a 2.5, this is a 2.2. Chalk and cheese. Really amazing, really amazing. Now I know some of you have already gotten into the diesel thing. Some of you already own diesel powered passenger cars, privately registered passenger cars. So you know what I'm talking about. But for those who have never owned a diesel, you need to drive this. You really need to drive this. Let's see about low end torque. Whoa. Oh my sweet giddy aunt. I'm up to 140. The only way my Ford Courier 2.5 would get to 140 is if I pushed it off a cliff. Holy guacamole. This is a diesel. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I've been in the business now for what, so long, and I'm very, very impressed. Holy cow. This is amazing. This is really amazing. Okay, so gobsmacked. Gobsmacked would be a good term to use, or a word to use for how I'm feeling right now. I've actually taken the long way. I should have made a U-turn back there, but you know, the road was open, so I figured, what the heck, let's try it out. Wow. So you know that with this low-end torque, your area of exposure in the danger zone is going to be very much minimized. The danger zone is between the 80 and 140 speed range. This is when most people this is the kind of speed you would need to do a bit of overtaking on B roads when it's only a two-lane road with oncoming traffic on the right. Your exposure in the danger zone is when you go to the right to overtake. And I would say this diesel engine has minimized that exposure by quite a fair margin. Quite a fair margin. Let's try that again. Oh, the smoothness of it. Very nice. There's this famous saying, I've said it a few days ago. If you've ever owned and driven an SUV, you won't want to drive a passenger car anymore. I'm gonna make one up for the diesel. If you drive a 2.2 diesel, turbocharged diesel like this Skyactiv-D Mazda 6, I have a feeling you won't want to drive a petrol car anymore. That's a car driven or running on petrol, because this thing is just amazing. It's so smooth. The torque is so immediate and so linear, you don't even feel it. And the next thing you know, you're doing 140, 150. You won't feel it thanks to this NVH. And because of the GVC, the drive characteristics are just amazing. Seriously, I would like a little bit more. This interior does not justify how good this car looks from the outside and how well it drives with this engine. So I would like a little bit more. It's very understated, and like I said, it's not too over the top, it's not too ostentatious, but it needs a little bit more bling, just a little bit. A few brushed aluminum inserts here and there. Oh, there is over here, but it's not really brushed aluminum. But wow, all is forgiven because of this engine. All is forgiven. The brakes are good. Not a hybrid, but why do you need a hybrid when you've got 700 kilometers on a full tank? You don't. You really don't. You just need yourself a diesel. Okay. So right. So I'm gonna pause here and really enjoy. I've taken the long way back just for the fun of it. Gonna enjoy this car a little bit more, and stay tuned for the wrap up. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe because a lot more is coming. Oh, pedal shifts. I didn't even notice. It's got pedal shifts. Yeah. Right. Very cool. Okay. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't, and lots more mayhem to come. I'm gonna close the sunroof because the top of my head is getting hot. And I'll be back. I'll be back with more. Take care. Bye-bye.